My name is Wade Yarber, and I'll be the guide for this session. Before we get started, I've got a couple of housekeeping issues. This session is being recorded. That is primarily for internal quality control, but any participant can request a copy of that recording, and I'll go over that again at the end of class. And also, there's no marketing or other financial relationships between Facebook and GetSetup. Facebook owns Instagram. We're purely trainers, and all of our revenue comes from our training activities. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and then move a couple of things around to get everything working while I'm talking. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. Does anybody have pictures over the top of my camera or any other obstructions where you can't see it? Right, great. I'm going to leave the mics open, but I may have to, if we start picking up some background noise, I'll just go ahead and mute everyone. So before you ask a question, do look down to make sure that you're not muted. And also, I'll pull down a copy of the chat in case anyone has any problems with their microphone. But if your mic's working, please just go ahead and ask your questions verbally so everyone can hear the questions, and it's easier for me to follow that way as well. All right, so I'm going to move back out one level here. And let's take a look at the agenda. What are we going to try and accomplish today? By the end of class, you should be able to understand how posts show up on your Instagram feed, how to create a post yourself, understand what hashtags are and how they work on Instagram, and know how to update and use your profile. Quite a bit of stuff to cover. Let's get started. Again, please just unmute and ask questions, make comments at any time. We've got a small class, so we've got plenty of time for comments. So let's start with what is Instagram? Instagram is a popular messaging app for sharing photos and short videos. There are several messaging apps. The three biggest ones are Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger. They all overlap in a lot of the functionality, but they all have their own special niche. And Instagram's is photos and videos. That's what Instagram is all about. I'll probably say that half a dozen more times. Their tagline is capture and share the world's moments, but I think that says it all. I mean, they're about capturing the moment with pictures, not with words, and sharing it to lots of people. Instagram has over 1 billion monthly active users and growing rapidly. I think it's growing faster than the others. It's still a little smaller, but gaining a lot of traction. And it was an independent company, but it was purchased by Facebook back in 2012. And there's been quite a bit of integration going on between Instagram and Facebook, more so than with WhatsApp. And of course, Facebook Messenger was developed by Facebook, so it's deeply embedded in Facebook. So I'll talk a lot about comparisons between Instagram and Facebook, just because I'm assuming everybody has at least a passing familiarity with Facebook, and there are a lot of functionally common things. Briefly talk about the two main terms in Instagram, following and followers. They're almost the same as Facebook, but a couple of small differences. Followers refers to the list of users that you are following. You can follow friends, you can follow celebrities, you can follow organizations and businesses. If you're following someone, their posts and stories will appear on your feed. Followers on Instagram are users and accounts that are following you. They can see your post on their feed. What you can do in Instagram, which is different than Facebook, is you can set your account to be private. And if you set your Instagram account to be private, then only people who are your followers can see your posts, and you get to pick who your followers are. So if you've got your account as public, anyone can follow you. If you set it as private, if I want to follow you, I'll click follow, but it'll send a message to you saying Wade wants to follow you on Instagram. You can say, yes, that's okay, or no, I don't want that person following me. And that's how you can control who's seeing your posts. Questions about any of the background information there? Okay, well, let's jump in. Does anyone not have Instagram already installed? Right, good. So this is the Instagram app. So I won't go over how to install it, but it's like any other app. It's an easy install. So here's this is Instagram, and again, it's similar to Facebook. Stories are at the top. We'll talk a little bit about stories later, not as much. Stories are gaining popularity on Instagram, but posts are still where most of the action is. But so these red circles up here are stories, and then everything else below are posts. Kind of draw that distinction nomenclature-wise. Let me just explain briefly what these are. Stories are short videos or a series of pictures that disappear in 24 hours, whereas a post is here forever. That's sort of the attraction of stories. They're there and gone quickly, and they're lesser in context since it is just a picture or just a story. Let me let's go ahead and I'll pick one of these just to show you what it looks like. I'll pick this one at the end. I just touched that. That's her story. So it's a picture. She's put a little caption down there, and then a second picture. And that's it. So that's not too uncommon. Very short. Sometimes it's just a single picture, sometimes a couple. It could be a video. Sometimes theirs are videos, but theirs is going to be pictures as well. There's a short video that they've worked in. But that's a story. X out of that. We're going to focus more on posts than stories. Let's talk about how posts show up down here. And there's several ways something can show up on your feed. Most of them are going to be from someone that you follow. And that's this is someone that I'm following. That's actually my wife, but that's her post. So and you can. The other way is, let me find, and so, and when I say accounts can be a person. So this is just a person, it's a personal account, or the account can be a business. So here's GetSetup. They have a Instagram account as well. So this is a post from GetSetup. It's a business. You really can't tell the difference unless you go into their profile. They both appear on your feed. Okay, this one has the word sponsored here. This is from a business, but this is a paid advertisement. Anytime you see sponsored, think paid ad. So this may be, this is from a business, but it's a business I follow. So I've chosen to have their stuff show up on my feed. I don't follow Save Bee Shop. I didn't ask to have this put on my feed. Instagram decided to put it there. And the third way, and here's one right here, is you can have things show up on your feed from hashtags that you follow. And we're going to talk more about hashtags later, but this is on my feed because I follow Birds of Instagram. And so this was, Instagram decided to put this on my feed because I follow Birds of Instagram. I don't see every single post that's made to Birds of Instagram, but I will see some. And let me see if I can get down to suggested posts. They're going to be further down. First, when I want to find something, they've got it way down here. Okay. May have to just pass on that one.
Wade, can I ask a question?
Yes, ask a question while I'm scrolling. Thank you.
Okay. I see on this lower left-hand corner, there's a heart. There's something like a circle, and then there looks like a jet plane or airplane on the left-hand side. Now, can you explain those to me?
Yes, and we're going to go over those in a few slides further in, so we will get
Okay,
there.
thank you.
Okay, so when I want to find it, I can't find it, but I'll just tell you what it is. Down there in your feed, occasionally it'll say suggested posts, and it'll have some posts from accounts that I don't follow. So most of the posts are things from either businesses that have paid to put something on my account from these hashtags, or but occasionally Instagram will decide to put some suggested posts from accounts I don't follow. There's something called the Instagram algorithm, and what it does, it tries to define what I like and to give me posts that I like. So for instance, if I like a lot of dog pictures, I follow a lot of people that post a lot of dog pictures, Instagram figures out I like dog pictures. And so it may take a very popular post from someone I don't follow and put it on my feed saying, hey, wait, I think you might like this since you like dog pictures. So it's trying to, one, show me things that I want to see, but it's also trying to get me to follow other accounts. Just like Facebook is always trying to get you to friend people, Instagram wants you to follow a lot of people. So that's kind of their way of getting you to follow people. So if you see suggested posts, they are from accounts you're not following, but they're not just randomly thrown on your account. They're based on your activity, what Instagram thinks you like. Questions about that? Does that make sense?
Wait, I have a question. I mean, a lot of these posts on Instagram look very much like Facebook posts. Do they go on both media, or are they just Instagram and the person does the same thing on Facebook?
You can. There's some ways to double post some things. There are some differences, and let me scroll down to, for instance, well, and as you're seeing all of these, in Facebook, the first thing you see at the top of the post is a bunch of text, and then there's a picture below it. And I mentioned Instagram is all about pictures. So with Instagram, the first thing you see is a picture or a video. And then here's the words down here in a small font. And it's usually only 2 rows. And then you got to click more to see the rest of what they call a caption. So that's one of the biggest differences between Instagram and Facebook. Instagram is all about pictures, minimally words. Facebook is sort of the flip. It's more about words, and then you have a picture that goes along with the words. Does that make sense?
It does, but the question really was, my stepdaughter is constantly posting things that look like they would be more appropriate on Instagram, and yet they're on her Facebook page. And I just wondered if posting on Instagram automatically puts it on your Facebook account, and that's not true.
It doesn't automatically, but you can do it. And I'll show you how you could choose to post it both places. And so a lot of people do that with posts, and especially with the stories. Lots of people put stories both places. We'll move on to the next slide. Let's talk a little bit about how you can interact with the post. I think this is a question somebody was just asking. So let me go down to, oh, and of course now I found it. Here's the suggested posts. And you can see, so these are posts from accounts I don't follow, and you can tell because it has the word follow here. So they're showing me posts that, Instagram's showing me posts it thinks I'll like, hoping that I'll like it, but that I'll also click this follow button and start following these accounts. So 2 giveaways, it says suggested posts, and it also has the word follow here. So it's a good way to find other people that you may want to follow. If you don't want to see these suggested posts, you can click older posts here, and it'll jump over the suggested post and take you down into your feed to some older posts. Finally found it. It took a while. We'll go back up to the top again, and we'll start with GetSetup. So there you can interact with with these posts in several ways. There's a triple dot up here at the top, And this really has to do more with the account than the post itself, but to some extent to both. And again, this is a business, so I'm going to touch this. I can report this account if I think they're posting things inappropriately. I can mute the account, which means stop seeing their stories, or I can unfollow the account, which means stop seeing their stuff on my feed. So this is how I can kind of control what's showing up on my feed by basically turning it off and saying, I don't want to follow this account any longer. Down here, this is how you interact with the post, and this is really how Instagram's algorithm figures out what I like. So if I like something, and that's what the heart is, so if I touch that, it does a like. I could comment, so if I click this, or just start typing down here in the add a comment, I can put a comment on here, just like Facebook, works the same way. I can forward it. So I'll click on the little airplane, that's forwarding. I can post this to my story. I was showing you the story. So if I like this post and I don't want to put it in a story, I can do that. Or I can send it to individuals. So if I think my wife would like to see this post, I can just click here and hit send and send a link to this post to her. And then this is saving. So if I like this post and I want to save it because I either want to look at it again later or want to be able to get to it for whatever reason, I can touch that icon. When I do, it says save to collection. I'm going to touch that save to collection. Collections are like albums or folders. So these are the collections I already have. If this doesn't fit any of those categories or those collections, I can click on the plus and make a new one. This is from GetSetup, so maybe I want to make a new collection called GetSetup. I'm going to save that. And so it's now created a new collection called GetSetup, and it's put this post in there. This icon changes to be a solid color when I've saved it, so I can tell that I've saved it compared to this is an unsaved one. So that's how you interact with a post, and this is how Instagram learns what I like and tries to give me more of what I like. Things that I literally like, comment on, share, or save is all telling Instagram, give me more of this type of post.
When you share, how does it get to that person? Texting, email, instant messenger?
When you share it, it emails it. Sometimes I get confused because I teach WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, and Facebook. But I think this does also send an email to the person with a link back to the post, just like Facebook does. I'm going to test it and find out. I'll ask her how she got it. Up. Something just popped down, so I think maybe it sent it by Facebook Messenger. Yep, it did. So it sent her a message via Facebook Messenger instead of an email. So just answer that question.
Wade?
Uh-huh.
When I look at my Instagram account, it says 1 of 5 steps complete. So that leads me to believe there are 4 steps I have not completed.
That is correct.
So when I tap on the next screen, I don't see what I'm supposed to be doing that I haven't done. It says 1 of 5 steps complete. And then this is what I get. This is what's on my screen.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see your screen, but let me see. I may have an account that's like that.
The first thing
Here,
says, learn
here's
from
mine saying
others.
2 of 4 is complete.
I'm sorry.
So here's my screen. This is for a different account. I've got 4 different accounts. This is a
Okay.
newer one. Is this what you're seeing? Something like this? Yours says one of,
Yes,
mine says 204. So if
right.
you touch that, let's see. Oh, here's the other things that want you to do down here. Add a bio, find people to follow. Those are the two things the other things to do. So add your name has been checked off. I've done that. That's one of the two that I've done. And adding a profile picture, I've done those. So those are the 4 things it wants you to do. This account, I've done 2 of the 4. Does that make sense?
Okay,
See it? And you can click there to add your bio.
okay.
Go back to my account. It's got more stuff in it that I want to go into. I'm going to go back down and find the hashtags. And here's a hashtag. So this this came to me from a post from Dogs of Instagram. Now, hashtags are used in other social media. Twitter and Facebook both have hashtags. Instagram is the only one where you can like a hashtag and follow it. So I'm going to click on here, and it's going to take me to Dogs of Instagram. So this is the hashtag page. And so what happens is that I follow, and you can tell right there, I'm following Dogs of Instagram. So you can follow a hashtag just like you can follow an account. And what will happen is that occasionally Instagram will take some pictures off of Dogs of Instagram and put it on my news feed. That's how that one we were just looking at got there. You can go to one of these pages, just like I did, and look at the pictures. And if I see a picture that I really like, I can touch on it, and it'll take me to that picture, to that post. And let me see. And here is Dogs of Instagram. So when they created this post, they put hashtag Dogs of Instagram as part of the caption for the that post. That's how this picture ended up here on Dogs of Instagram's page. Everybody kind of following this? This is a little convoluted. Now, what happens is, what they want to happen is, I look at this picture, I tap that, I say, oh, cute picture. I want to follow this account. And so I can click right here and follow this account. And now I'll be following that account that I wasn't following before. Maybe I want to see a little bit more before I make up my mind if I want to follow this one or not. If you touch right here, that will take you to their profile and tell you more information about Charlie Parker. That must be the dog's name. But Charlie has 4,000 followers. Must be pretty popular. Charlie's following 463 accounts. And then you can scroll through to see other posts. And if I really like those pictures and I want to see them in my feed, I would go ahead and click follow. And now I'm following Charlie. Okay. Is that making sense? Everybody kind of see how that's working? I've put this in a diagram to see if this, and to kind of follow a little bit, show you how it works. So let's say that I post something and I put Dogs of Instagram on that post. That makes it show up on this page, Dogs of Instagram. And then John Doe comes along to Dogs of Instagram and clicks on my post, just like I did on that one. So that's my post. And then they click follow, and all of a sudden I've gotten a follower that I don't even know who he is from Adam. It's nobody I know. He doesn't know me, but he found me through a hashtag page. So if you post a hashtag, you'll start getting followers that you don't know who they are. For most people, that's a good thing. People like other people to follow them. Questions on that? It's a little hard to grasp sometimes.
I'm not familiar with hashtags at all. So I can create a hashtag, or Instagram creates a hashtag. Anybody?
Yes to all the above.
Wow.
It's at this point, it's probably hard to come up with much that's not already out there. That's a good segue to the next thing I'll talk about is let's talk about the search down here. Let's say I'm interested in posting to some hashtags and I'm trying to figure out, which ones I want to post to. And there's several ways to do it. One, you can just look at hashtags that show up on your feed. So again, just like I found that one, if I clicked on more, it shows me, and this is probably not a good one because they posted to, I said that one. That's interesting. They must have put it in a comment. You can put a hashtag in the actual caption here, or you can add a comment and put it in the comment. So they must have put it in the comment. Let's go to another one. So here's some hashtags for this picture. So if you see a picture you like, you can go and see what hashtags they're using. Some people use lots. You can put up to 30 hashtags in a single post. Businesses usually do a whole lot. But that's one way to figure out which hashtags you might be interested in following and which ones you may want to put in your post, is just to look at what the people you're following are using. The other way is just to go and kind of intuitively go look. So I like dogs. So I'm going to come here and in the search put dog. And I'm going to look for hashtags. So I'm going to click tags here. And this will show me all the hashtags that start with the word dog. And you can see there's a lot. Dogs of Instagram, dogs of Insta, which is somebody that mistyped it, but there have been 26.9 million people doing that. Just hashtag dogs, dogs life, dogs lovers, dog of the day, dog mom. So there's lots and lots of options. What you probably need to do is just go in and look at some of these and see what's where was one of the interesting dog mom. Let's go and see what kind of posts show up on dog mom. And as you might suggest, they're typically women posting with a picture of their dog. But that's one way to go and kind of research what type of hashtag you might want to use. Does that help? Probably easier to start by just looking at things from your feed that your friends are using or the people you're following are using. Let's move on if there's no questions. And I think as we go through this, it may clear up a little bit more because I'm going to post something. And let's see how that works. So to post something, you come up here and click the plus sign. And it brings you to this screen where you can pick from down here. You can pick a video. These two are videos. There's pictures down here. If you touch on one of them, it'll bring it up above so you can see it a little bigger and kind of flip through if you're trying to find what you want to post. I haven't posted this one before, so I'm going to pick this one. So you pick what you want to post. Then you click next. You can apply filters here. This is one thing that's different with Instagram. It lets you actually go in and edit your posts. So if you're familiar with filters, clicking a filter changes the look of the picture. You can kind of tell by looking. That one actually turned it into a black and white. This one adds lots of color. So you can pick a different filter if you want to, and you can also do some editing in terms of adjusting the size and the contrast. You want to brighten it up or darken it. You've got lots of controls, kind of like Photoshop. If you're familiar with Photoshop, you can do a lot of the same things. I'll move on to next. This is where I write the caption. And again, in Instagram, captions are typically short, one sentence or two. I also think she's hiding. That's the caption I'm going to use. And then I can do space, 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 and I can start doing my hashtags. Hashtag. And it shows you, even before I start typing anything, it shows you hashtags that I've used before. I normally use dogs of Instagram, so I'm just going to touch that one. Notice there's 227 million posts that have been made to dogs of Instagram. All that out. It is a very popular one. So there's dogs of Instagram. I can do a space and add another one if I wanted to. And I don't see one I want. So what I can do is I can start typing. G, and it'll show me more options. So maybe I want to post it to dog life. And I get however many hashtags I want, and you don't have to use hashtags. That's totally optional. I say, okay, I'm done with my caption. I can tag somebody. If you use Facebook, it's the same thing. If I tag somebody, this one will send them an email telling them that they've been tagged on a post on Instagram, so they can get to it. You can add a location. That's frequently used if you're for people that do a lot of travel photos. So if they're on vacation and they're taking pictures lots of different places, they want to let the people that see their post know where they were taken, and also so they can remember where they were taken. So if I want to add a location, I can just, actually I can pick from down here. It shows you where you are right now. So if you took the picture close to where it is, you can do that. If it's not, you can come down here, see more choices, or even do a search. So if I've come home and this was taken somewhere in France, I could search and find where it was and pick it. In this case, it was taken at St. James, North Carolina, so I'm just going to pick that. This is where somebody, I think it was Lucy, was asking, I can now tell Instagram where to post this. I said I've got 4 Instagram accounts. I can post it to all 4 of my Instagram accounts, or just one. That's Elsa's picture, so maybe I'll post it to her account as well. And if I don't want to do it, I don't have to. If I want to post it on Facebook, I can do that. If I want to post it on Twitter, I can do that. So now I can post this on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter with one post. That's how you can post on, and there's other choices. I don't have a Tumblr account. If I had a Tumblr account, I could post it to Tumblr. I'm going to turn these both off. Questions about posting? Pretty similar to Facebook, but a few little different twists. All I have to do when I'm done is just touch share, and it posts. There it is. It'll put it on my feed, and it will put it on the feeds of my my followers. Notice this popped up. This is your notifications. I don't know why it's got a heart. I think it's a very poor choice, but that's what your notifications are. Again, similar to Facebook, so you can go in here to see what's been going on. Posts that have been made, people that have liked your post, new followers, people you may want to follow. Susie Holmes is one of your contacts, and she has an Instagram account. I want to follow her. So this is where you can find other people you may want to follow. That's what the notifications are.
Question.
Sure.
Let's say you've posted something and then you've figured out that there might be some other places you'd like to use that hashtag. How can you add those other places to your posts that you posted?
Let me go back into this post and add an additional hashtag.
Yes.
Edit. And to start typing again here.
So you would just, okay, you would just hit edit at the top. Okay.
So I'm going to cancel out. I'll go back. But yep. So click on the tap the triple dot on the top, and then click edit. Since this is my post, I've got different options than when I'm looking at someone else's post. I
Okay,
can delete it if I decided I don't like that post after all, or I can go in and edit it.
okay. Okay, I see it. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to go to the profile. Is there any questions about this? I'm going to go to the profile because there's several things in there that I've mentioned that I want to close the loop on. And then we'll probably have time for a few other questions or a few other things if you have other some other things. But let's go to the profile. It's down here. I've kind of been there once, and I've also shown you how to go to someone else's profile. But I'm going to go into my profile, and it'll show me, how many posts I've done, and they're all down here. Just like in Facebook, under your profile page in Facebook, how many followers I have and who they are. So if I click on followers, these are the people that are following me. And again, some of these people have no earthly idea who they are. I'm sure they found me from Dogs of Instagram and started following me. If I don't want this person to follow me, I can remove them, but they can put themselves back on if they want to. You can, if I want to follow this person who's following me, I can click here to follow them back. That happens more if it's somebody you know, like I know who Andrew Creeman is. So I'm actually going to follow Andrew. So that's what they're trying to get me to do, and it worked. And then who I'm following. And it'll show me the hashtags I'm following as well as the accounts that I'm following. So I can click here and see the different hashtags I'm following. So I'm following Birds of Instagram, mindfulness, Dogs of Instagram, psychology. If I want to stop following any of these, I can just click and it'll stop following it. I don't know what that one is. Don't have many posts. You can see again how many posts have been made to that. So I may have said that one's not doing anything. I'll just get rid of that one. So I'm going to unfollow it. I can always come back and follow it. And then it shows you popular hashtags down here. This is another way to maybe look for hashtags you might want to follow. These are ones with 1 trillion posts, lots and lots of posts. So you can kind of scroll through there to see if anything there catches your fancy. Again, if you want to see more about it, you can just touch and go look at that page to see what's in there. See if it's something you think you may want that looks like a foodie page. If you want to follow it, just click follow, and now you're following it. I don't want to follow that one, so I'm going back.
Oh, question, Wade?
Sure.
Earlier when you were talking about interacting with posts, you said there was a mute and an unfollow. Could you say again the difference between mute and unfollow? Because here you were saying that there was a follow and then you were deciding not to. But
Mute stops
yeah.
the stories. And unfollow stops the post. So it separates. So I can keep seeing someone's post, but not see their stories or vice versa, or I can mute and unfollow, which takes them totally
I
off.
see. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, good question. Let me go back into here, and I'm going to go into my the triple bar up here, which takes me into my settings. I saved a post earlier. This is where those saved posts are. In fact, here's the one that I did today. I created a new collection called GetSetup, and that post is in there. As you might guess, I've got lots of dog posts that I've saved. Here's all the dog posts I've saved. If I want to go and look at that post again from here, I just touch it and it'll take me back to that post that I originally saved. Maybe I wanted to comment on it, but I didn't have time to comment right then. Now I can come back and write a comment or share it or whatever. So that's maybe one of the reasons you want to save something. You want to come back to it and do something else.
Now, you had said do a hashtag and did 2 spaces, correct?
At least a space. I do a couple. Uh, They'll actually take if you run them together, but it looks kind of messy. So I would put at least one space between hashtags, and you can't have any spaces inside the hashtag. So you notice dogs and Instagram is one word. So when it hits a space or another hashtag, it knows that hashtag is done and it's starting a new one. That makes sense?
Okay.
I'm going to go back into here for a second and go into settings right here. I said you can make your account private if you want to decide who can follow you and who can see your posts. Here's privacy, and here's where you can set your account to be private. Those were the main things I wanted to show you in there. There's not any particular questions. There's one other thing I was going to show you, or two other things I'll show you. Again, ask questions if you have them, but I'm going to go back to my home. We didn't talk about messaging. I kind of jumped into there, but it does have a messaging features, just like Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. Most people come to Instagram to do pictures, to do posts and stories, but I can just use it for a messenger. So if I want to go into here and send a message to my wife, telling her, asking her if supper's ready, I can type a message down here, just like with other messaging and texting apps. I can do a video chat with her by clicking here. It would call her phone and start a video chat, just like FaceTime or any other video chatting app. I can grab a picture and send her a picture. Let me touch right there. It takes me, into my pictures where I can grab something, and then I could just send that to her. Now I've sent that picture to her. So it works pretty much like other messaging apps. There's nothing real remarkable about it. In fact, if you use Facebook Messenger, you'll notice that this is the Facebook Messenger icon. But here's Facebook Messenger here. So pretty much, it is now, Facebook Messenger is the messaging part of Instagram. We have another hour-long class about Facebook Messenger. So if you want to know how to do messaging, take that class, and 90% of it carries over into this part of Instagram. If you wanted to create a story, two ways to do that. You can touch here and create a story, or if you just take your finger and swipe, it opens up this screen. And from here, I can actually post something, or I can create a story. And I can, from here, I can actually take a picture with my camera, or I can go into my photos on my camera roll and pick something from there.
Question. Let's say I wanted to post to a elementary school or the school district. Would I do the hashtag and then that whatever it happens to be?
Yes, if they had a hashtag, and if you're trying to see if they got a hashtag, I'd go to the search.
I did. I found the school
found it?
district.
Yep. So when you do a post, if you want to post to that hashtag, whenever you're doing your post, you would just put that hashtag in
And that
caption.
code. Okay.
Yep, that hashtag Apex High or whatever the name of the school is. And that would put it on their that hashtag page.
That's what, okay.
I have a question.
We've got time for another question or two. If anybody else has a question.
Yes, I have a question. I have a question.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Hector.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as contents are concerned, And I'm fully aware of the fact that Facebook owns Instagram. And many of my so to speak, followers, etc. They seems to be saying the same thing on Facebook simultaneously, the same news and same pictures on the Instagram. And therefore, as far as I'm concerned, I have been using more Facebook, and I haven't been using Instagram very much. But what would be the reason why people have both accounts?
For
When
both accounts,
they are going to sending us more or less the same messages and more or less the same pictures, it is almost like a duplicate effort, you know.
I tend to agree with you, and it's hard to speak for everybody. Some people, a lot of people do have both. I think a lot of people pick one or the other of those two, and kind of because they are slightly different, and there's different people. And I think the deciding factor is really, what am I more interested in, seeing pictures or having conversations with my friends? If I'm wanting to, share information with my friends and tell them what I'm doing and ask them a lot of questions, I'm going to be on Facebook. If I just want to say, here's a picture I took of my dog, look at it, then I'm on Instagram. So Instagram is about pictures, Facebook is about words, is one of the differentiating factors, I think, between the two. But some people use both. I tend to use Facebook more than Instagram, so I'm not a huge picture person. But I will say that more businesses are starting to use Instagram. And I think that's partially because of you can post to Instagram and to Facebook and to several accounts and to all these hashtags. The hashtags make it easy to get your information in front of thousands of people. So if I'm a business, that's why those businesses are posting to 30 different hashtags. That means there's lots and lots and lots of people that might see that post. For personal use, you're probably not, you don't care if you have 50 followers or 500 followers or 5,000 followers. But if I'm Pepsi-Cola, I want to have 500,000 followers. So that's one of the attractions for businesses is the hashtags.
Wait,
Another
one question about privacy.
Uh-huh.
I was setting as much privacy as I can, but then does that keep me from, the hashtags, my posts will still go to the hashtags outside my privacy circle. And if somebody comments on it, I don't see it, or they can't comment if they're outside my circle.
That's a good question. I'm not sure where that breaks in terms of, so if you have a private account, but you post something to a hashtag and someone that's not one of your followers sees that post from the hashtag, whether they can comment or even see that. That's, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, just wondered, because there's
Yeah.
a lot of things you can do here. The controls are kind of difficult to understand.
It's pretty rare to have an Instagram account that's private. Because the whole reason most people are on Instagram is they want lots of people to see their pictures. And there's not much personal information here compared to Facebook. And
Okay.
Facebook has your what town you're from, where you went to school, what places you've worked, who your spouse is. It has lots and lots of personal information, which is why I think there's a lot more concern about privacy on Facebook. Here, if I go to my profile, edit my profile, here's all the information. They know my name, my username, and my bio. That's pretty much all the information they've got about me. So I'm not worried about people stealing my private information because I'm not giving them any private information. I'm showing them my pictures. A lot more privacy concerns on Facebook, justifiably so. Okay, we are
Thank you.
5 minutes. Oh, yeah, okay, one more question. Go ahead. Is there another question?
Thank you, Wade.
Okay, all right, let's go to the closing. And some of you have been around a while and heard this several times, but I think there's some newer people. So we'll run through the closing. So about GetSetup, our mission is to create economic opportunity for seniors and help seniors learn tools and skills needed to stay connected and live healthy lives. I mentioned that you can get a copy of the recording. If you want to do that, just send an email to help@getsetup.io. Be sure to include the class name and the date attended. There'll be an email coming out after class. It will include several sections. There'll be a way to recommend the class to a friend. It'll also have class notes that will include takeaways as well as one or more links to other websites with information. Some of the same information we covered in that class, as well as some additional related information. There'll be links to 3 other classes that you might want to take. If you want to take one of those, just click that link in the email and it'll take you directly to our registration page on our website for that class. And there's also a give feedback link, which will take you to our feedback page where you can rate the session 1 to 5 stars and rate the guide 1 to 5 stars. There's a place to add comments. Comments are optional, but they're certainly appreciated. We appreciate you taking a few more minutes and explaining why you gave us the star rating that you did. And the last thing on the email is a link to view schedule. This takes you to our Facebook page where you can book another class. You can do it by schedule. So if you know you're looking for classes on Sunday, you want to see what we're going to be teaching Sunday morning, you can come here. If you want to look for classes by class category, you can click here. And it will take you to the different categories of classes. So if you're looking for something related to creativity, you can click here and it'll show you classes in that category. If you're looking for more tech classes, they're over here. And finally, if you know what you're looking for, it's easier to click the search and just use a keyword search. So I mentioned Facebook Messenger a couple of times. If you're interested in Facebook Messenger, you can start typing Facebook Messenger. You typically don't need to type the whole thing. It'll bring up that class. I can click here and it'll take me to the registration screen. If it ever says sold out, just click notify me. That means that particular class is sold out. And then when we put another class on the schedule, it'll send you an email with a link to register for that new class. Okay, so I want to thank you for attending the class. I hope you enjoyed the class and learned some new things about Instagram that you can use. And I hope I see you again in another class really soon. So thanks for coming. Have a great evening. Stay
Thank
warm
you.
if you go
Thank
outside.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.